Hello, I'm Carrie. I'm from Group 1 of Dr. Mylene Cayetanos and Visai 1 class. Our group focused our research on promoting Philippine space agencies. Now, what is a space agency? A space agency is a government agency responsible for aeronautics and aerospace research. Now, we geared our research more towards the development of a satellite for the Philippines. Now, what exactly are the benefits of satellites for a country? Basically, the first is telecommunications. Mobile networks provides easier access to communicating with relatives from different places in the country or likewise internationally. The second is radio and television. The third is weather predictions, which is very important for our country considering we encounter a lot of typhoons. And the last is land surveying, project auditing, and hazard mitigation. So basically, the Philippines, despite all of these benefits, we still do not have a space agency or a satellite of our own. Now, other countries in the region, in the Southeast Asian region, already have their own satellites, like Vietnam, and to go farther off, it would be Kazakhstan and the like. However, we used to have our own satellite. Now, the first and only satellite in the Philippines was designed by the French, and it was launched into space by Chinese scientists and engineers on Chinese soil. Now, it was named Agila 2, and was launched into space in 1997. However, Asia Broadcast Satellite acquired it and repositioned it to serve its purpose for other countries last 2011, and it was renamed to ABS-3. Now, this means that our country no longer has control over Agila 2, or now called ABS-3. The Philippine Space Act of 2012, however, calls for the establishment of a Philippine Space Agency. Now, it is a framework for developing and execution of projects with regards to space education, environmental management, weather predictions, using satellite-based information. Now, this is one step towards gaining sustainable development in the country. It will also include the establishment of Philippine Space Commission, which is a government agency in charge of space exploitation and science and technology research and expansion. Now, there will be two phases to the DOST microsatellite project in line with the Philippine Space Act. So the first phase will be the installation of the receiving station, or henceforth called the Philippine Earth Data Resources and Observation Center, or the PEDRO Center. And the second phase will be the launch of the microsatellite into space. Now, the target date for completion of this project will be around 2016 to 2017. So, in line with everything we have just previously discussed, we interviewed Paulo Espiritu, one of the students to be sent to Tohoku University for the DOST microsatellite project. So, hi, I'm currently with Paulo Espiritu, graduate of BSECE from UP Diliman, and currently a member of the PHL microsat team to be sent to Japan by DOST. They will be studying and building the first microsatellite of the Philippines. So, hi, Pao.
Hello.
So, my first question is, why do you think the Philippines is lagging behind in terms of sending a satellite into space?
I think space exploration is not a particular priority of our government at the moment. Actually, it's in science and technology in general. As we can see in the yearly budget allotted for science and technology, it is lagging behind as compared to other government agencies.
So, why do you think it is important for a country to make space agencies and satellites a priority?
As the common saying goes, space is the next frontier, and it is very evident in other countries as they are already venturing towards space tourism and space exploration. Just this year, India launched its first Mars probe, if you have heard. And if the Philippines plans to get on board in terms of technology, we really have to start venturing towards space exploration.
So what would be the benefits once we have a space agency or once we get a satellite into space?
One of the primary objectives of our proposed microsatellite is to improve disaster management as well as agriculture, ocean development, and urban planning. So it can really be used in a lot of fields as long as the technology allows for it.
So this planned space agency, why should the common citizen be interested about this new development in science and technology?
As I've said, the microsatellite will help a lot in disaster management, and as we all know, the Philippines is one of the most, if not the most, prone to weather anomalies and such. So we really need this technology to prepare and to properly manage the planning.
Okay, so for one last question, what made you, a fresh graduate, interested in pursuing further studies in Japan for this particular reason?
Here in UP, we really don't have any courses that serve or teach aeronautics and space exploration. So I really want to learn this because it's a new technology relatively for the Philippines, and it would be a privilege to be one of the first.
So you'll be bringing back the knowledge to the Philippines.
Exactly, yes.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time and for the knowledge you have shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula Espiritu. Now we have another guest, one of the proponents of the bill of the Philippine Space Act of 2012, Dr. Custer Diocares.
Yeah, I'll just give you a background kung ano nangyari, how the bill was given to the to Congress. Okay, at that time I was teaching sa Rizal Technological University. I was a graduate school professor and I was teaching astrobiology. And then I noticed yung mga estudyante nag-graduate astronomy, they don't have jobs. Sabi ko, where are you going? They're all queuing sa mga limited positions that are given by Pag-asa. But how many students could only get jobs na astronomers? Very few. So I thought, why don't we start our own space agency? So nagkaroon kami ng a little open forum with the students. Sige, we are going to do that. Okay, go. So I'm the person who was the proponent of the bill. Okay? So ginawa ko, I looked at the different mandates or yung mga constitution or laws that established NASA, the Bangladesh Space Agency, Indonesian Space Agency, Malaysian Space Agency, and then I did a comparison of JAXA. Most of the features of the Space Agency program that was placed into law or in the act, based siya sa JAXA na maganda yung organizational structure niya. So when we wrote the bill, we lobbied it to Agham representatives, si Angelo Palmones, Congress, and then he was so excited about the bill, and it was filed. Thereafter, gumawa kami after lobbying sa Congress, we made the press conference. That was during the December 12, 2012 doomsday scenario. Kasi nobody will listen to you as a scientist. Media won't, you're boring people. Lobby for space agency. Yeah. So kailangan maglagay kami ng isang bandwagon, isang wonderful issue people are talking about sa Pilipinas. Mahilig tayo sa mga mysticism. We talked about catastrophe, annihilation of humanity. And then we asked yung mga astronomers, how will you connect it with astronomy? And then we nagpadala kami ng mga helio telescopes doon that look at the sun, because they said there was going to be a sunspots and a big solar flare that will hit the planet. Tapos nagpakita kami ng mga meteorites, kasi sinabi nila meteor shower daw magkakaroon dito, may collision. So we asked experts. And then we talked about the space bill. It went, naging viral siya, and it was featured in most of the newspaper. That was the time na nagkaroon ng momentum ng space agency. The space agency, we are the last, we are lagging along with Asian countries. Talo pa tayo ng Bangladesh when it comes to a legitimate space agency. We even have a deodorant campaign ng Filipino to be the first astronaut, but they don't care about, how could you have an astronaut if you don't have a space agency? We actually invited them. They're not interested. They're interested in promoting the deodorant, but they're not interested giving a damn about having a space agency. Too bad. Nangyari, ayun, pinush namin siya. And ngayon nagkaroon ng momentum during the 17th Congress, but Angelo Palmones was no longer voted for the 18th. He is no longer congressman for 18th Congress. So wala kami masyado ngayong ginawang action, and we're hoping that the next Congress will get some people who are scientists or science-oriented individuals or legislators to push for this. People were laughing at us. Sabi nila, ang dami-daming problema, dyan nga may dengue. Why would you even push for a space agency? Yun yung ang daming, when we look at yung mga comments ng tao dyan sa news, not a single person would stand up. They were saying we're a bunch of dreamers, mga morons, thinking of some other things. Ang interesado sila sa mga, people don't, think country na wala nag-aspire.
Yes.
Wala tayong nag-aspire. What our people know, beauty contest. We aspire so hard. We bring them the best and most expensive gowns na kaya siguro mag-fund ng isang research yung gown nila. Talk about boxing. People are so crazy about it. But when you talk about aspiration, scientific aspiration, rarely will you have a Filipino or people standing up for you. So yun yung naging reaction sa space bill. Hopefully, nagkaroon siya ng, we think that sole act of bringing students, empowering students, and we brought scientists to connect with media, later on, nagkaroon siya ng ripple effect. I think may mga projects ngayon ng DOST.
Yeah, the Microsat project.
Oo, na nagkaroon ng interest dito. Pumasok na ngayon yung mga policy makers to support programs. So, that little act, that small act, that little initiative, somehow changed the way people look at space.
I have a question po. So, the Philippine Space Agency, what exactly are the benefits that the normal people would get? Like one of the reasons why people don't really push for it is because they don't know like what.
No, sige, ano ba ang mga nakikita na sa mga satellites? Number one, telecommunication. Expect faster, more efficient telecommunication service, stronger telecommunication industry. We used to have a Mabuhay satellite, an Agila satellite. I think that was Agila 2. It's dead already. It was created by, I think, French scientists. A space agency will also bring in scientists. We have the best engineers. We have engineers na nag-work sa NASA, na nag-develop ng rover. We've got very magagaling ng mga astronomers. These people are not, they're not doing anything much dito kasi wala naman tayong agency na nag-employ sa kanya. So a space agency will also bring about scientific prosperity by bringing in the best minds of Filipinos abroad to come back to the Philippines and work. So I mentioned about telecom, I mentioned about scientific progress. Data, yung mga data natin dito, the project, those are satellite data, but the satellites are not ours. They are merely getting data from other satellites. We have sovereignty, for example. A space agency will have a capacity of creating its own satellites. Okay, because you have an agency na may mga, ano doon yung mga talents mo who can network. One for example is, okay, meron tayong satellite, dumating sila doon sa islands na kiniklaim na ibang country. The moment they step in, people will be alerted. Unlike now, na naka-build na sila ng isang military base, ngayon pa lang natin nalalaman.
Opo.
So, because there could be a satellite over us, guarding the entire country. And a very powerful satellite has a resolution of, I think, 10 meters or 1 meter square na makikita mo up above. So, kung merong mga coup d'etat, kung may mga defense na things that will, even you can protect yung mga seas mo from dynamite fishermen, a lot of things can be achieved with satellites.
Last question po siguro. How feasible is it for the country to actually build its own space agency? Like
a space agency is just an office. Okay? And then you have engineering department. Madali lang, there's an aerospace industry. Alam mo yung mga technology being developed for airlines, these are all space. All that we need is an office and a coordinating body, and a body that will coordinate and link up with NASA, European Space Agency, and with other space agencies. A program na pwede mong that you can even connect with UP, with Ateneo, engineering program, just a coordinating body that we need. And then later it can grow.
Okay, so just one last thing. So if I was just some person on the street who's listening to you and is interested in this, how could I possibly help in...
Okay. Ewan ko kung paano ka matutulong. Alam naman you can... siguro, just be open about the idea of having a space agency and to dream. Because what we need here, the space agency is, one of the biggest benefits that you can find in a space agency is to inspire the nation. Our country is not ang inspiration natin, yung pag may bumagyo, pag nasira yung mga bahay, we say we're resilient. That's an inspiration. We'll give an alternative inspiration. We can go up there. We can compete with other nations. We can be good. We can be one of the best countries in terms of science and technology because matatalino yung mga Pilipino. Yun yung pinakamalaking benefit na makukuha ng country natin is to inspire people to achieve greatness in terms of technology. Now, how could an ordinary person support it? I don't know. I don't know. Probably go to, support, pwede mong ilobby sa Congress, tumulong ka sa paglobby, but not an ordinary person kasi, why would an ordinary person na nagbibenta ng sago on the street, naggutom, would aspire? Diba? Markovian hierarchy of needs. Siguro ang people who will be taking the lead role here are like you, students. Kayo yung nandito sa nexus ng knowledge. Teachers, scientists, media people. Siguro we can get mga artista. Diba?
To actually support the bill.
Support the bill.
So there, thank you po, Dr.
Thank you.
Custer.
Yes.
So,